Hey, this is Future Haley. I just wanted to start off this video by giving you a little warning that there are going to be spoilers for the entire Percy Jackson and Heroes of Olympus series. So if you have not read those, do not watch this video. Come back after you've read them and we can discuss. I totally filmed this video without putting in a spoiler disclaimer, and I realized that that was a mistake. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Percy Jackson, don't watch this video. Hi, it's me again. Another disclaimer. I did not make this tier list. I found it on the web, so none of this is mine. None of this art is mine. This is all the official fan art for the Percy Jackson characters that are on Rick Riordan's website. I forget the artist name. Yeah. So I do not claim credit for this tier list or for anything on it. Hey guys, it's Haley. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be doing something that I think is going to be super fun. We're going to be tier ranking Percy Jackson characters. Now, I got this idea from my good friend Deja over at Literary Princess. If you didn't know, we went to high school together. She's a really good friend of mine, and she did the ranking of the entire Riordan-verse characters. Now, I have only read Percy Jackson and the Olympians and the Heroes of Olympus series, so I will not be doing all of the Riordan-verse characters. I have not yet read The Trials of Apollo or Magnus Chase. I have read the King Chronicles, but it was a long time ago, and I want to reread them before I rank them in any sort of capacity, because I feel like I'll just be putting them in the sort of meh category. So we're going to be doing strictly Percy Jackson characters and Heroes of Olympus characters, and I'm super excited about it. It seems like something that's going to be really fun. I already have kind of an idea who is going to be in the sort of higher tiers and who's going to be sort of at the bottom, but I'm really excited to share with you guys, and let me know how your rankings match up with mine in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so the tiers we have are God tier at the top, love, like, meh, and should die. Those are the tiers, and now let's get started on the characters. I'm just going to go in order, because otherwise I'm going to be gravitating towards my favorites, and then the rest of the video would be kind of boring, because everyone would be in the meh category or the dislike category, so I'm going to just go in order as they appear on here. So first up is Frank from the Heroes of Olympus. Now, I think I just like Frank. I appreciate him as a character. I really think he's a lot of fun. He's a really interesting, great character. He has a lot of great development, but I don't remember him as clearly as I remember some of the other characters, and I just feel that he goes more in the like category. I like Frank. From what I remember of him, I really liked him, but I don't think he's quite up there with love yet. Okay, Poseidon. So this is kind of a controversial one, because obviously in the Percy Jackson's Greek gods, which I have up here, we learned some not so great things about Poseidon, about stuff he did, and in the actual mythology he was not really a great person at all, but I'm just going off of what we get from the actual books, and I really loved him in this series. I really loved his bond with Percy, how he called Percy his favorite son, because I mean, how couldn't he be? So I'm gonna put Poseidon at love, because I really do love Poseidon. Okay, next up we have one of my favorite characters. This is Zoe Nightshade, and I have a lot of feelings about her. First, I took out my copy of The Titan's Curse because I wanted to go through and find some quotes about Percy and Zoe's friendship, which it means, everything to me. I've said it before, but they would be such a bro TP had she lived, and I am forever bitter that we did not get to see their friendship develop more, because there's the part where she tells Percy that he is nothing like Hercules, and she's honored that he carries that sword, and my heart just melts over it, because they went from such intense dislike and bickering, and it's sort of like a Percy and Annabeth, but without the romantic connotation. And, I just love them. And I pulled a quote here for Percy's opinion about Zoe, and it's on page 262 of The Titan's Curse. And he's talking about Atlas, and he says, "He was all the things I'd originally disliked about Zoe, with none of the good I'd come to appreciate." So I really enjoy their friendship. I love Zoe. She's such a strong character. She's such a complex character. she's one of my favorites, one of my favorite side characters in the PJO series, and I love her, and I'm so sad we only got her for one book, so. And I'm also sad that in Heroes of Olympus, when we got to see Hercules, we didn't get to see a confrontation between Percy and Hercules about the way Zoe was treated by Hercules, but alas, we can't have everything. I really wanted that, but it's okay, I'm still bitter, whatever. So Zoe's gonna go in my god tier, I think. I think Zoe's gonna go in my god tier for right now. I might move her down to love later, but I love her more than Poseidon, so. Next up we have Tyson, see, I love all of these characters. There's not a character I'm just like, I like that character. I love all these characters, but I feel like it's gonna be boring if I put everyone in love. So I'm just gonna say Tyson, like, comparatively, is in like for me. I really like Tyson. I like his relationship with Percy. He doesn't have much character development, which, you know, I think maybe puts him in the like category but more so, but he and Percy have a lot of relationship development, and I really enjoy that. So next up we have Thalia Grace, and now Thalia is what I'm conflicted on, because I like Fanon Thalia better than I like canon Thalia, if that makes any sense. Like, I really like the Thalia that exists in my mind, but whenever I go back and reread the Titan's Curse, I'm like, I can't stand her. Like, she's so obnoxious to me. So I like the way she develops, and I like her towards the end of the Titan's Curse, and then the little we see of her after that. But I have to put her probably in Matt, just because my feelings on her are so conflicted and not like consistent, so I'm gonna put Thalia in meh. I can already tell this is not going to be an even tier list. Like, you know how some people have like very pretty ones where it's like the middle is all filled out and then it's got like sprinklings on mine's not going to be like that, but whatever. Next up we have Zeus, and Zeus is going to be my first should die, although he is, you know, an immortal god and can't die, so that doesn't really apply as much. Yeah, but like 90% of the problems like in Greek mythology could have been avoided had it not been for Zeus, so we're just gonna put Zeus in the should die category because he's kind of the worst, and I'm not the biggest fan of him. And then Be Still My Heart, now we have Perseus Jackson, who has to go, obviously, in God tier. Now, Percy is one of the best characters I've ever read about. He's so flawed, but he's so good. And he's so good at his core, and he's so relatable, and he makes mistakes, but he tries his best to do the right thing, and he's so loving and kind and loyal, and I absolutely adore him. I think he's one of the best characters I've ever, one of my favorite characters ever. He and Will Herondale are at the very top of my list of favorite characters, so love Percy Jackson. He's going in God tier, which is funny, because he turned down actual godhood to be with Annabeth, so, you're a God tier in my eyes, Percy. Next up, we have Clarisse LaRue, who, I actually like. I didn't like her in the first book. In the first book and a half, I really didn't like her. But in the second half of Sea of Monsters and later in the Last Olympian, I really enjoyed her, although she frustrated me in the beginning of the Last Olympian. I really did enjoy her, and I think she's got a lot of great development. I think, I don't know, I'm a sucker for a good redemption story, so I'm gonna put Clarisse in like. Next up is Jason Grace, and we're gonna put him in meh. Now, I like Jason, he's fine, but he doesn't really like do much for me. Like, I don't feel like we don't get a lot of like character development for him or character description of him other than he's good. He's a really good guy, and I don't feel like we don't get to see that much of it. Like, and plus in Mark of Athena, I was like sort of annoyed at the rivalry between him and Percy, because I was like, obviously Percy is superior. Like, this isn't even a question. So let's not even try to have this debate. I mean, I'm kidding, of course, but I just sort of am mad on Jason. As Deja mentioned in her video, he spends about half of Heroes of Olympus unconscious. I feel like he sort of is redundant in that series and doesn't do as much as some of the others, and yeah, not the biggest fan of Jason. Next up, we have Leo Valdez, who I love. I love his humor. I love his being in his point of view was always so fun for me because he had just like the wittiest. It reminded me of being back with Percy, and in The Lost Hero when we didn't have Percy and it was like really stressful. I remember like being super grateful to have Leo because it felt like being back in Percy's mind a little bit. Obviously, they have very distinct voices, but it felt like having some of the humor back. So I really enjoy Leo, and I'm going to put him in love. Next up, we have Piper, and I'm going to put Piper in like. I really like Piper. I enjoy her character a lot. I enjoy her growth. I enjoy seeing a daughter of Aphrodite with like different qualities from the ones we've seen before. Although we did have Selena Beauregard, who I loved as well. But I feel like we didn't get as much of Piper as maybe I'd hoped for, and so she's just gonna be in the like and not love category. But I did really enjoy her as a character, and I really I know she appears more in the Trials of Apollo, so I have a feeling she's gonna move after I read those. She's gonna move up to love, but yeah, she's just like for now. Next up, we have Bianca D'Angelo. And now Bianca, I have conflicting feelings about because of the way she abandoned Nico. Now, I understand totally her feelings of I've been protecting my brother my whole life. I've been looking after him my whole life. I want a life of my own. I totally get that. But if she'd gone to Camp Half-Blood, she wouldn't have had to leave him behind, and there would be other people around to help look after him. She wouldn't have had to take care of him in the way that she had been before. And I just felt like choosing to cut off like all contact with him was really harsh. And I'm not going to say she should die because she definitely shouldn't have died, and I feel really bad that she died, but I'm going to put her at meh. Next up, we have Grover Underwood, I love Grover. I really do think he is such a fantastic character. He grew so much from like being sort of very timid and a little cowardly in the first book to becoming the Lord of the Wild and taking over for Pan and just overall he was just a great friend to Percy, and their friendship means a lot to me. We didn't get to see a lot of it in Heroes of Olympus, which was really sad, but in the Percy Jackson and the Olympiad series, we definitely got to see a lot of it, and I love their friendship. I think it's underrated personally, so I'm gonna put Grover at love. Next up, we have Nico D'Angelo, who, again, I love, although I do think it is a little funny how, like, how quickly he goes in book 3, The Titan's Curse, from being like this, like, he's like 10, and then the next year he's like 11, and he's acting like he's 14, 15, 16 years old, and after that, like, he's still around that age, and he's still acting like he's like way older than he is, which I get you mature quickly, but when bad things happen, but it always struck me as funny. I'm always like, how old is he supposed to be? But I really love Nico. I think he went through such an amazing character arc in Heroes of Olympus. I think that he has by probably some of the most extensive character development in the Percy Jackson or the Heroes of Olympus series, so I definitely have to put him at love. I love him, and I think he's great. Okay, next up we have Luke Castellan, who, this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to have to put at love. Now, I had a little bit of a crush on Luke as a kid, just a little bit. He and Percy are, like, the antithesis of each other. Like, Percy like, understands Luke and his motivations and why he's angry, because Percy gets angry too at the gods for being so cavalier and so careless and so uninterested in their children's lives. Like, Percy gets it, and Percy is sort of the antithesis of Luke, and I really love that about their character dynamic, and the fact that Percy is what Luke could be and Luke is what Percy could be. And I just think that he's a fantastic character. Obviously, he does a lot of very problematic things. I don't love him like as a person. As a person, I would not be his friend or anything, but as a character, I think he's great, and I think he is really well done, and sort of the way you should do a villain. So I'm gonna go with love for Luke. Next up we have Will Solis, who I haven't read Trials of Apollo yet, so I don't know as much about. I only know what we get of him from Blood of Olympus. So I'm gonna put him at like. I really liked him. I liked what we got of him. I have a feeling he's gonna move up to love after I read Trials of Apollo, because I've heard nothing but good things about him in that one. But for now, he is simply at like. I really liked him. So next up we have Hera, who I don't even know why she's on this list, but Hera is gonna go at should die, because again, immortal goddess can't die. But yeah, like what the hell? Like she basically caused all the problems in Heroes of Olympus, and yeah, I get it. She did it to defeat Gaia and to merge the camps or whatever, but she still sucks, and she still cast her child off of Mount Olympus because he was ugly, which is just, you know, a dick move. So Hera goes at should die. She's the worst. Next up we got Sally Jackson, and how can she go anywhere but love? We love Percy's mom. She's so great. She's so strong. She's so... she does maybe keep some secrets from him that maybe she shouldn't have, but we love her. She's been through so much. She deserves happiness. I love her. Next up we have Annabeth Chase, and how can Annabeth go anywhere but God tier? I love Annabeth with my whole heart. I think she is a fantastic character. She's so smart, she's so competent, she's so wonderful, and she is so loyal and such a good friend, and so many wonderful things, and she's so complex as a character, but so good, just like Percy. She and Percy are just such a good match together. I love them both so much with my entire being, and they are my favorites, and I love them. So Annabeth goes at God tier because she is like a goddess in her own right. Let's be real. Next up we have Calypso, who I'm gonna put at like, because I do like her a lot. I liked her a lot in the Battle of Labyrinth, and I felt really, really bad for her. I don't like that she cursed Percy. That makes me really sad. I mean, I understand why she did, because, I mean, but it's not Percy's fault that he thought the gods would follow through on their promise, so I don't, but I understand, obviously, in her, like, desperation and her just, like, feeling so, like, left and alone and betrayed. I understand why she would do what she did. So I just like her. I like her and Leo together a lot. And I think she is a great character. She does have a lot of there's a lot of complexity between when we see her in Battle of Labyrinth and House of Hades. So next we're gonna go with Chiron, and Chiron is going to go at meh. Chiron, I do like him. But when I think about, like, some of the more questionable decisions he's made, like the fact that he kept this secret from Percy and sort of did a Dumbledore to him, where he sort of raised him to be killed at the proper time, I wasn't a huge fan of him when I think about him in those terms. I mean, I liked him as a mentor. I thought he was great, but he sort of gaslit Percy a lot in the first book and in the subsequent books with the prophecy stuff. So he's just kind of a meh for me. I like him when I'm reading about him, but when I think too hard about it, it sort of falls apart. Next up we have Octavian, and Octavian should die, and did die. So that's a bright spot in the PJO series for me. That Octavian died. So, man, I don't think I have to explain that one. We all hated Octavian so much. Next up we have Hazel, and I'm gonna put Hazel at love. I really do love Hazel. I think she's a fantastic character. She goes through so much, but she develops her abilities so much, and I just find her fascinating as a character. I adore her. She's so great. She's so fun to read about, and I just love her. So Hazel definitely goes at love for me. Next up we have Reyna, and Reyna I like. I don't feel like we got to see as much of her as we could have until Blood of Olympus, which I really enjoyed what we got of her, but I felt like I needed a little more to bump her up to the love category, so I just like Reyna. I really do like Reyna. Last but not least, we have Athena, and Athena is gonna go at meh. I appreciate her as a character, but she advocates for killing Percy, and that's a for me. I don't think she should die, but she's definitely not my favorite character. So Athena is gonna go at Matt. And that completes the list. That was so much fun. So I'm gonna put in a screenshot of my final list. Oh, I'm so excited. That was so much fun and I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know how your own tier rankings compare to mine, where you have certain characters at. I think we probably all have Percy and Annabeth at God tier, but anyone else that you maybe put at God tier that I didn't, or people that you put at, different sections and different tiers, let me know. I had so much fun doing this video. It was a lot of just laughs and enjoyment. It brought back so many memories of things, and I'm considering doing a Cassandra Clare tier list, which is going to be difficult because there's like 10 million characters in those books, but I have to read Chain of Gold first before I do that, and I'm probably going to wait until after Chain of Iron comes out so that I can get a better feel for the characters just like after there's 2 books in the series. It'll be a little easier for me to decide where they go. So I'm gonna wait probably until after Chain of Iron to do that one. But I had so much fun with this one. If you guys want to do this, feel free. And thanks for watching. I love you guys. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.